right, so with this one, what I'm going to show you how to do is just how to take an object in 3D and how you're going to do a 3D move and a 3D rotate. So if you've noticed, if you've tried to do the rotate command, and I'm picking up this guy right here, the regular old rotate command, I can rotate it the way that we've been able to rotate before, but this is only doing it, let me press F8. I can only rotate along that XY plane. You know, when we've been able to rotate before, I've been able to take it and just rotate something this way. But when we're actually working in 3D, there's 3 different ways that you can rotate an object. So what we were doing, rotating it this way, is actually rotating on the Z axis. If the Z gives us depth, that Z axis is where we're picking up that object and we're rotating it. Now that we're in 3D, we have 3 different axes we can mess with. So we can rotate here, which is what you're seeing there, just a regular rotate command. You can also rotate on the Y axis, would turn it this way. You can rotate it on the X axis, which would turn it this way. That's why it's helpful. If you've ever seen this, it's called the right hand rule. It's helpful to do that right hand rule because you can look at it and you can kind of visually see with your fingers your X axis, your Y axis, and your Z axis. So when you're trying to figure out where to rotate something, you can see up here. So regular rotate only works on that one plane, but if we do 3D rotate, I can select this object. When I press enter, give it a base point, and I get this little gizmo here. And so that gizmo gives me a nice visual. I get to choose which axis I want it to rotate along. So do I want it to rotate along X? So X is red. Instead of having to type in the X-axis, I can just click on the ring. The red ring shows me what the red X-axis rotation would look like. The blue is the Z, and the green is the Y-axis. So you can choose which axis you want to rotate on. And then you can type in your angle, 90 degrees, and it rotated it along that axis. So rotate. Oh, I already did that one. I can rotate this object 90 degrees along the Z-axis, and I just rotated it that way. So, for example, when we were doing, remember the cylinder? I told you you can only draw a cylinder along that Z-axis. It'll only give it the height along Z. But if I need that cylinder to rotate down, I can use my 3D rotate, select it, wherever for your base point. I'm going to rotate it that along, along this axis, and I'll type in 90 degrees. And now I can move this to the center right there and then subtract it out. And I've got a hole now going through that. So you're going to use that 3D rotate command a lot. There's also a 3D move command. With the 3D move command, you're going to specify your base point. Do you see this little gizmo that shows up here? You can kind of constrain which axis you want to move it along. So if I were to choose this, I could only move it along the Z-axis. I can't move it anywhere else if I tried. I'm locked into that Z-axis. Or I'm locked into the Y-axis. I can't move it over to the side at all. So this is really helpful when you're in 3D and you know you're kind of in the right place. You just want to move it a little bit forward. If you don't use a command like this, it's super easy in 3D world to think you're moving it back some, but you actually moved it kind of down and back. And visually, you can't see it on your screen, but it's easy to accidentally do that in 3D world. Another thing that you can do, and this is actually what I do instead of that 3D move command, is the regular move command. But turn on your ortho, F8, and you are locked into only moving along these axes, but you get to choose which one. So I actually prefer this to the 3D move command. It's still locking me in, but I get to choose if I'm going up, you know, X, Y, or Z for that move. So I think that's it. I know this was a really long lecture day, but I think that is everything I have to show you for these guys. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to come in here, pick out these guys, And it's completely up to you. You're going to decide what the best way to draw these things would be. So you have a choice. Are you going to go into 2D and just draw the outline, pull it out, and just subtract a little box right here? Or are you going to draw, maybe this could be a box, that could be a box, this could be a box, and union those things together? It's completely up to you. Everybody's going to approach this differently. One thing that I do want to point out is anytime you've got any kind of cutout, don't think of this as something hard to do. Just draw a box, a 1 by whatever that, 1 by 2 by 1 box. Drop it into place, subtract it out, and you've got that. Here we go. You've got a cylinder. Just do a cylinder with a depth of 1. Subtract that out, and then you've already, you could subtract a hole through that if you needed to. For this one, something like this, I would just do this overall shape right here in 2D. Press pull. You've got that weird funky shape. Subtract a cylinder out of it, subtract a shorter cylinder out of it, and you're done. This right here, draw this weird shape right here. Actually, this looks like it would be kind of complicated, but go into 2D. Draw just the lines. You could even draw a box right here. Draw a circle right there. You can press pull. Actually, I would probably draw the weird shape, press pull, maybe draw a cube there or draw a box on top of that. Once you get the cube up there, draw a circle, press pull that down. There's like three different commands to that, and then you're done. Or actually, you could draw a rectangle with a circle in it. Press pull up, and it would automatically subtract that circle, although the circle wouldn't go through the bottom half, I guess. But so many ways to do any one thing. This guy right here, look, this right here, this is just an arc. Drop a box in there and subtract it, and you're done. I had a student do this last semester, and the student only did half of this. They did the front half of this, and then just mirrored it over, and you've got, union those together, and you've got the second half of this. This guy right here, 3 cylinders, you just draw 3 concentric circles. Extrude or press pull those circles and drop in a box, or actually you could even just draw this as just a little C shape, a little half circle, or drop in a box on this and subtract that box out. So as you start looking through here with the barn, you could just draw the overall shape in 2D, even with that box right here, press pull that out, draw yourself another little box and press pull or extrude, subtract that box out of there. So as you start looking at these, they're a lot less daunting if you just start thinking. I really, really do encourage you to, or I shouldn't say encourage. If I were you, I would do a lot of this in 2D and then just press pull. Super, super easy. I want you guys to find what works for you. And there's no right way, there's no wrong way to do it. So find what works for you. This little guy right here, I would draw this crazy looking B shape with the circles. I would press pull that out, and then I would draw the little Batman outline, press pull that, union those 2 pieces together, and then that's it. So just looking through here, these can be they can be very approachable, if you know what I mean. So even anytime you see a little curve or anything, even this guy right here, it curves. Look, you just draw this overall shape, press pull it back, and then put in a box. Subtract the box out, and you're done. And that was actually hard to do. I don't know if you remember if you guys did that one in your 1405 class, but that was one of the tricky ones to do in 2D. It looked easy, but it was harder than you thought as far as hidden lines and stuff. But group editing, this really won't take that long to do. So you'll probably, by the end of next class period, you'll be done. For sure, you'll be done with drawing these. It will not take you 4 hours to draw all of this, hopefully.
Are we just doing these shapes and getting these shapes down, or we have to do all the view stuff with the
you just draw each one of those in 3D.
The shapes, just
the shape. Just each one of these you're going to draw in 3D. Again, you've got 12 objects to draw because there's 2 per page times 6 pages. You get to pick and choose which ones you do, and you're going to draw them all into one drawing. So you're going to have one big drawing file that has 12 pieces in it. And then I'll show you, either we'll see where we are Wednesday, or maybe we'll just shoot for Monday. We'll just talk about rendering and lighting and stuff.
Was there any kind of scale for this thing when we did that in 1405, or was it just like...
You counted?
Just counted.
You counted. You in 1405, I don't know if you remember, there were little tear out sheets in the back of the book, but depending on your instructor, they probably just printed them out and handed them to you. And it was a grid that had 1 through 9, and it had a little miter line on it, and it had little tick marks where you start your corners. And you were supposed to draw a front, top, side view. And that's the first time you had ever drawn front, top, side view with hidden lines and center lines. So that's where you saw this project before. Way back in 1405, last semester.
So we're gonna be doing, we're gonna use the same kind of grid, that same kind of approach to do, we're counting and drawing.
Yeah, well, you're
or
going to
whatever.
count them, but this time you're drawing it in 2D or 3D, unless you just want to draw, whichever view that is. Maybe pick the front view, whatever you think is the most descriptive view. I would do that one in 2D because that would be the easiest to draw in 2D, and then you press pull it, you've got 3D, and you're done. Subtract out any other little boxes or whatever, but it's usually most of these are like one kind of maybe crazy shape on one face. Press pull that out and then subtract a box and you're done. So do you guys have any other questions for me? Okay.